Welcome to the Dr. April Jasper Show, relevant conversations for business owners of today. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We appreciate being a part of your life and being invited into your day. It is such a joy to be able to help our colleagues to bring value to their patients and to help you strengthen and grow your business. Join us at optometricmanagementeducation.com, where you can learn more about all of the other services we provide. We have a subscription service that you can be a part of, where you can learn and teach your team from the courses that we've recorded on all of the topics that are relevant to your success. We also have consulting services. And right now, if you give us a call, schedule a call with me, I'll be happy to talk to you about what we can do to help you grow your business one-on-one. It is nearing the end of 2022. So David and I thought that as we talk about 2022, we wanted really to come up with what are some of the lessons learned. Let's do a little recap. And
your daughter will eventually get married, probably.
My daughter, yes, our daughter. Yeah, we haven't been there yet, but that's
a lesson learned in 2022.
Right. That's been a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
It's actually next week. So even though you might listen to this in 10 years or you might listen to it before the wedding is next week. And you know, it's funny. We were talking to some friends just this morning about the fact that I think one of the most fun parts about that, the thing I'm looking forward to the most, is there's going to be so many people that are a part of our life that are all going to be in the same room at the same time.
And none of them know each other.
And none of them.
A lot of
right.
them don't know each other. Yeah,
a lot of them.
It's going to be funny.
Have no idea the part they've played in her life and our life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to try not to cry all night, because that's going to be, if I think about it too deeply, that's the thing I tend to get a little emotional about it.
I think I get excited about it because you have all these personal friends, then you have business friends, and you have business acquaintances and
neighbors.
And yeah, I mean, people just don't get that connection, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's going to have that connection.
You know what? We could tell them.
Places and times and
we
stuff.
could tell them right now. So guess what? Our photographer that's taken our family pictures for years, she's coming, and her son is taking over her business. They're going to be on a future podcast with us, so you get to learn about them.
Perfect.
That's going to be fabulous. So Dina is going to be there, and Tony.
Yeah, and they're driving 6 hours.
Yeah, my family from upstate New York, y'all know, you've heard me talk about it. I'm from Corning, New York, and they're coming down in all different ways. Airplanes, cars, probably not trains.
Planes, trains, and automobiles? Almost. Close.
But they're going to be here. Family from Alabama.
Yeah.
We have pastors and friends and teachers.
And colleagues from optometry.
Yes.
Lots of optometrist friends. And they've all been part of Allie's life.
Yeah. The stories we could tell. One of our neighbors is going to be there who has family who designed and built Central Park.
In New York, yep.
And several other big landscape architectural, really phenomenons.
And none of these people would know each other. It's crazy, though.
Isn't it? It almost gives you goosebumps. They wouldn't meet any other time, but they're going to meet.
Right. You never know.
And hopefully they'll do something that I would do, because that's how I've become in the last few years at least. Hopefully they'll wander around and talk to each other, because there are so many lessons learned in so many of their lives.
Yeah.
And what I love about everybody is that their intent really is to help each other. So if they take a minute, and besides celebrating Allie, I know she wants them to dance, so hopefully they're dancing with her, but if they take a minute and talk to each other, what an amazing thing it could be, you know?
Yeah. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be so hard for me not to stand up and say, hey, you should meet you, and you should meet her, and he should, because you want to connect the dots and say, this is David's best friend he grew up with. And this is David's sister who you've got to meet, because she's amazing, and she's in Alabama, and she's the nicest human on earth and teaches me every day how to be nicer. And I mean, you go through, and if you could just connect people,
yep.
Who knows? Maybe that's what I'll be doing all night. Don't tell Allie. I asked what my job is. What is the job of the mother of the bride?
You have no job.
I don't.
Just show up and smile and relax, and what's going to happen is going to happen.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm not actually, which is kind of surprising. I thought I might be nervous, but it's just, I think the anticipation has just kind of been so long.
Yeah, we've
'Cause what
had a
they
year.
announced, what, a year?
Yeah.
Has it been a year?
I think it was New Year's Eve. They
Yeah. So
became
I don't
engaged.
think I'm not, you?
No,
You're not
no, I
nervous.
get teary-eyed. Look, I had a tear, but I'm not nervous. I'm actually getting more excited, and I want it to be
Yeah.
that way. I want it to be happy, and I want people to have a good time. But at the same time, I can't make everybody happy. So we're just going to do the best we can at
No.
making sure Allie and Kyle are
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, and have a great night.
But you know what? That was an unanticipated blessing of 2022 is
Yeah.
that Kyle moved to town because they got engaged. And when he moved to town, he started working in the office.
Mm-hmm.
And we did something really different with him because we knew he was good with his hands. He is a mechanic and he works on cars and he can fix anything in the house. And so we're just like, why would we not just, if he wants to learn the business, because Allie wants to go to optometry school and he wants to learn the business, then why won't we just start him out in the optical?
Yep. And we did
And we did.
right away.
And
it was in May, right?
Yeah, I think day 2, literally day 2, our optician called in sick. And so he was there by himself and he was doing repairs on glasses and did a fabulous job. And it's all been from there. We've been, it's just been a future of learning and he's done fabulous and patients love him. Why do patients love him? What do you think? Why
Well,
do they?
he's personable. He
Yeah.
likes to talk to people, and
That's why, because
Yeah.
he learned the lesson of life, and it's the lesson that has built our business. And we're going to talk about that in part 2 of this segment, which is really you've got to build relationships with people.
yep.
So that was a fun piece of 2022. What else? What else have we learned this year? Thank you to NeuroLens for being a sponsor of our podcast. We have really appreciated having the option of NeuroLens for our patients in our practice. At least 2/3 of people experience the symptoms of eye misalignment, and that number grows as we continue to shift to remote work and learning. The symptoms of headaches, eye strain, dry eyes, and neck pain, eye fatigue, even motion sickness can be extreme. Even small misalignments can cause painful symptoms, and even small prism correction can provide dramatic relief.
Well, there's a lot of things we've learned. I think the Hope Ride that was
That's right.
my first Hope Ride, our first Hope Ride. I
Yep.
did the ride from Jacksonville down to West Palm Beach.
That
It was
was
300 miles over 3 days. That was back in January.
right.
And you guys have probably seen a lot of the
The video.
videos of us promoting that because that's going to happen in January 23.
Yeah, it is a fundraiser. So we're going to just tell you one more time since we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Go on the website, hoperideforfreedom.com, look up David Jasper, and you can donate to his fund. It's all going to 821.
It all goes to a21.org. Yeah.
So it's a great organization
Yeah.
that is all about putting an end to human trafficking
Yeah,
and helping
amazing.
the victims become survivors.
So I think that was fun for me because I got to do, I had never ridden 100 miles ever in one day.
And then to ride 100 miles
And
3
we
days
did-
in a row.
Yeah, we basically did 300 miles. And
But you know what was good about it? And you can tell them what was fun for you about that. I didn't even ride, but it was fun for me because I met new people and we were all working together towards a common cause.
Right.
And the family were there.
Yep.
Allie and Aiden were there with us.
Yep.
The dogs were there with us. We just had a great time being together in a new way,
right.
being able to raise money for something like this. And for
Yeah.
you to be able to do something so incredible.
Yeah, I had no idea if I could even do it, which was fun. You push yourself and you just kind of train and do what you can. But like I said, I had never done 100 miles in a day,
You
ever.
just get out and do it,
I think
push
my
your body.
longest day was 60 miles. So I didn't know if I'd even get through one day of 100, let alone 3 straight back-to-back days, which
Yeah.
was fun. And it was, I think it would be just as much fun to not do the ride and to help.
Right.
Yeah,
we had a great time.
every time we stopped, everybody was there and all the support and the crew was there and the
My
the
favorite
food
story.
was amazing and it was just so much fun.
Remember I talked to the couple on
Oh,
my
yeah.
way to the restroom at the marina
That
where
was
we
a
stopped.
crazy day too. That day started with 20 mile an hour headwinds and pouring rain for 2.5, 3 hours.
Wow.
Pouring down rain.
It was crazy. I was worried about you guys.
And we pedaled through it and got to that stop and that was was that lunch or was that?
That was lunch.
That was
I think it
lunch.
was lunch.
Yeah. And that's when Greg Aker came and visited us.
Yep.
That was in Titusville.
Yep.
Yeah. That was amazing. And we got there and it wasn't raining.
Yeah.
And we had
Then we went past the Space Coast.
yeah,
So
that was just south of that, right? I think.
drove by the,
Mm-hmm.
I always call it the space shuttle. We know it's rockets now. So, but
Well, the space shuttle was there, right?
that's right.
Didn't
They
we
had the
rode
one
right by it?
standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you met the couple in the park.
Yes. And I told them all about it and they donated money as we were there. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's just what it's about. You have to reach out to people. And I think I'm learning that more and more every day. 2020, maybe COVID and 2020 did that to me even more. So during COVID and 2020, what happened then is that we all kind of got put in the house,
Yeah,
right?
you kind of got shut down and everything closed off and everybody closed off from each other.
Then after COVID, so COVID time 2020, we're all in the house. We're all getting closer as a family, I guess. So that was good. But then after that, I think maybe what happened too is that it made us really want to be even nicer. Not all of us, not the whole world. But I think for you and me, it made us want to reach out more because we saw so many people that were struggling and in pain and
Yeah.
really having a hard time with living through that. And then trying to transition back to 2021 and now I'm supposed to just go back to life as it was and
Right.
be around people all the time when you made me terrified about the fact that maybe I shouldn't be around people.
Yeah.
And now it's okay. And now we got to be nice again. And it's not been easy for everyone. I'm not making fun.
No.
I just,
that's the way life was. I mean, and until this year almost.
Yeah, so I feel like
some
that's
states
what-
and cities have still been shut down.
2022, I think, was really the first time that all of us started to really try to reset. And reset has meant something different to so many of us. And I would encourage everybody to kind of really decide, what does reset mean for you? Because some people's reset was, let's go back to the way it was in 19, which was not honestly okay. I don't believe that most of us were living the life we should live back in 2019. I think we were all too busy, too occupied
Okay, I
with
was wondering where you were going with
too
that.
many things that were not important. And then 2020, a lot of us kind of reset what is important.
Right.
And
yeah.
then some people jump back into 2022 with now being too much still. Am I making
even
sense?
our lives. No,
Yeah.
even our lives. I mean, it's gotten, well,
They went
wedding,
back.
The wedding is a lot of stuff going on for us.
But some people went right back to being super busy again and
Right,
super traveling again and lost the lessons of 2020, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
And then there's others that reset by saying, I liked being alone and I don't want to be nice anymore, which is equally problematic. And so really where 2022, I think, has been for us, and I hope that I challenge myself to continue to remember, is not to go back to 2019 and relive that, because we learned too much to go back and lose what we learned, but also to start to be even more purposeful about building relationships.
Yep.
We are proud to be sponsored by MacuHealth, a triple carotenoid formula that is the only one with mesozeaxanthin, lutein, and zeaxanthin. David and I have been using MacuHealth in our practice for several years. We love it because it's patented with micromicelle technology. It's clinically proven to restore macular pigment and supported by level 1 scientific evidence. So we have confidence that it works.
And where were we the other day? We were doing that. We were just talking to somebody. And we would never have done that in the past, but we just went in and it was like, we're doing it and we're going and doesn't matter.
Going to events, doing things we didn't do before.
Yeah,
We
I
love
remember
going
what
to
it was.
see our patients in different things that they're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, we're trying to be purposeful and saying yes to things that help us engage with people. So that's another lesson that we learned. And that's good for business too. And we're going to talk about how it's good for business down the road. But that's something people don't think. So reset, the other thing that happened in 2022, that we keep saying the word reset. I think that we've had to reset our team engagement at the office as well. And that hasn't been easy, because when people leave because they've gotten to a point where they need to do something different, that's never an easy moment for any of us.
No.
You tend to take it personally when you shouldn't.
Especially when it's somebody that's been with you for a long time and
Yeah.
you think everything's going okay, and then kind of all of a sudden
Well, and it doesn't mean it's not going okay in your office. So if you have an employee,
Right.
and here I will tell you because you need to hear it. If you don't hear it from someone else, we've been around long enough. If you have someone in your office that's leaving, yes, you should do an exit interview and you should ask them to be honest with you about what's wrong in your practice and what's not happening the way it should. But I also think it's important to know that sometimes people just need to go do something different. They have
Right.
a better opportunity.
Yeah.
And I've changed completely from being upset when it happens to being happy for them now and letting them share with me, what is it you're going to do next? What's your new opportunity? I want to be happy with you. But I will tell you, and we just had this conversation this morning with someone who runs human
friend of ours.
resources for a company with over 400 employees. And his words of wisdom really rang true for me. And that is that we know around the country, I can't say around the world, but around the country, there are many people who are at the point where they have said, nope, I'm leaving, I'm going to a different job, but they're regretting it 30
Right.
days later. And so his words of wisdom were what?
It was let's talk to them.
Call him back.
Yeah. Call them and see how it's going. Check in
Yeah.
on them and just follow up. Do a 30-day follow-up or a 60-day follow-up and find out how things are going and what's happening.
And you don't
you don't
necessarily
never know.
need to call and ask him back. Your call is really to do what David said. Just be nice.
Yeah, you're checking on them.
Just say, hey, we're so glad that things are going well for you if they are, but we want to know,
Right.
how are you doing? And is
Right.
there anything we can do for you to help you in this transition? Can you imagine how shocking that would be for someone? And what's funny is if they truly are wanting to come back and if they truly are unhappy, they're your best person to bring back. So, words of wisdom, do not leave on bad terms, either of you. So don't get an attitude mindset of shame on them. How could they do that to me? And now I don't like them, but be happy for them. And then call them in 30 days and say, how's it going? What are you thinking?
Yep.
Anything that we can do for you, because you never know what's going on in their mind.
And we just heard that today.
Yes,
That
we
was
did.
great to hear.
Yeah. So I think that that's the other thing. 2022 has been all about flexibility, learning to be flexible. I've even actually started stretching more and exercising more because I think that the stress level is not relaxing.
No. And as time goes by, we're getting to where we need to stretch a little more.
Yeah, we're older too, but yeah, time has gone by, and what we have also noticed is that we all might have thought that stress would be less once we got further away from COVID in 2020, but there's so many things going on in people's minds, our customers and our team members,
Yeah.
that I don't think stress is getting less.
No.
I think that stress can be more if you let it be, and so you also need to be purposeful about practicing stress relief. So I think that's the other thing that happened for us in 2022 is we're trying to figure out, we're
Well, even
working
now-
through.
Yeah, even now with inflation and the economy the way it is,
Yeah.
you can't say stress is
Less,
less.
right? So we're learning as we go along.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that we're finding is that you have to come up with ways that you can reduce stress in your life.
Mhm.
But here's what I think a lot of people are misunderstanding and being misguided in is I think people think many times that the way to reduce stress is to change everything in my life. Well, changing your job might or might not help. And moving to a new state may or may not help. But here's the deal. If you can't learn how to deal with stress where you are, you're not going to better be able to learn how to deal with stress where you're going. Stress is going to follow you because it's a mindset as much as it is
Right.
a lifestyle. And so you have to be able to adapt, and you have to be flexible, and you have to figure out what is my way to reduce or eliminate or let go of
Yeah.
that level of cortisol in my body that's freaking me out and making me upset. So let's talk about some of those ways. What do you do to reduce stress or relieve stress, Dave?
For me, my bike helps.
Yeah, you go for a bike ride.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just one of the best things I can do. And
Both kinds of
it
bikes.
keeps me,
Motorcycle and bicycle?
yes, definitely nice to get out on the motorcycle too. It's a bit discouraging when you're driving over a bridge on the motorcycle and it's just twist the throttle, and then to get on the bike and go over that same bridge, it's like, wait a minute, this is really hard. So yeah, it's kind of funny when you're when the reality sets into.
Yeah.
I'm spoiled riding around in a car all day long.
Yep. I like to go for walks. That's about all I can do right now. So walking is good.
No, the gym though. You get
Yep,
to the gym.
we go to the gym.
Yep.
And
just don't have to do hard stuff. You just go and you just work out and you just relieve that stress. It's like
we
it's
like
just
to go to the
therapeutic.
beach. You know, I mean, you got to stay out of the sun these days, I know, but we like to go and see nature, and sometimes just a ride in the car to go look at the water. I can tell you so many times, I'm really sharing my secrets now, when I've had a rough day, and maybe sometimes even in the middle of the day, because our office is only a block from the Intracoastal.
Yeah.
So there'll be days I'm stressed out and I'm like feeling it in my neck, and challenges are coming at me, left and right. And David will say, come on, let's go to the water. And we just jump in the car, or we go for a walk, and we walk down to the water, and you get to see the water for a few minutes, and you realize that the world is a much bigger place than just my little office, and that there are bigger problems in the world than just our little office.
A little bit of fresh air.
And it puts everything a little bit more in perspective.
Yeah.
So I guess if we talk about lessons learned, and we're going to talk about some of the real positive things too. I mean, the wedding's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And so we learned how to work through that as a family. That's been good. What else? We've learned how to be flexible, adapt to situations we can't control.
Yep.
We've learned better how to reduce stress. But I think we've also learned, and I hope other people do too, that you don't need to necessarily uproot yourself and drop into a whole nother situation, because every situation you're in is going to bring its own stress.
Yeah.
You're much better off figuring out how to move through situations in a positive way.
Yeah.
So that you can then be better able to handle every roadblock or challenge in life. And I think books are so good. Yeah. And we should share books with each other, meaning I read one and I love it, and David and I'll listen to it. So he can listen on the bike while he's riding.
We need to put a list on the...
Yeah, we need to do more of that. So we'll do more of that for y'all.
Books coming up.
Yep. So that's part one. We just wanted you to have some idea of what we've been up to in 2022 and things that we're learning as we go along. And we'll share some more in the next episode.
Perfect.